Hi, everybody. My name is Neil Schnecker. Today, we are going to talk about the world's oldest service organization and its intent to renew itself, to change a little bit the paradigm, to grow, to become more relevant in the 21st century. I have with me today the International President of Lions Clubs International, A.P. Singh. Welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you, Niels.
Let's start first and look at the way that this organization is modernizing itself from a membership point of view. You started a project called Mission 1.5 a few years ago. It's going to finish at the end of 2027. You're looking to get 1.5 million members. But what I'm trying to figure out is whether this is just something to clap about, or whether it's a motivational strategy. What is it actually?
It's taking organization to the gym, getting it more fit, getting it, adding to its muscle, adding to its capacity to serve more people, answer more needs in all parts of the world. It's about taking care of every club in every district of Lions International.
So you're taking care of the clubs? So how are you growing if you're taking care of the clubs?
You don't grow unless the clubs grow. What is Lions International? This is the International Association of Lions Clubs. The International Association is only as strong as the aggregate of its clubs. I mean, membership grows and the membership drops in the clubs. Service is performed or not performed by the clubs. We have strong clubs. We have more energy in the clubs. We'll have more service, we'll have more outreach, we'll have more bandwidth.
So what you're saying basically is you're looking to get more people served? Is that what you're looking or are you looking for more members?
Looking to get more people served. But the only way to do that is that you have more people, you have more clubs, you have more ideas, you have more thoughts, you have more visions, you have more pockets, you have more contacts.
But I saw in the presentation of Mission 1.5, I saw that you're saying to grow by the end of 2027, to grow to 1.5 million members and serve 1 billion people.
That's the goal. We believe that if we are 1.5 million, we'll be able to serve 1 billion, and it's not going to stop there. But it's going to continue.
But the conflict in what you're saying, and that's why some people are saying it's just another strategy to add members, and that's it. Because right now at 1.3, you're serving about half a billion. So you're saying that by adding another 200 million, you're going to be doubling the number of people you're serving.
No, first of all, we are not 1.3 million. We are close to 1.4 million. So by adding another 100,000, when we say we'll be serving 1 billion, please understand that at this point of time, there are less than 60%, just about 59% of the clubs that report their activities. So as I said, it's like taking the association to the gym. We are also energizing the clubs and motivating them, educating them, and requesting them to file reports of all the service activities. We believe that's an extrapolation, that once all reports are filed, all service activities are chronicled in the records of the association, plus we have more clubs, we have more members, we'll be there at 1 billion people served.
You have to admit that generally when we're talking about Lions Clubs International, we're talking about a seriously aging organization.
No. Who said that?
Everybody's saying you look at the average age of the members in the organization.
Where?
On your website.
No. I don't know which website you're looking at.
I'm looking on lionsclubs.org.
No. There is nothing on Lions website which tells you that this is the average age. Rather, the average age is different in different parts of the world. There are parts of the world where the average age is below 55. There are parts of the world where average age is 70 plus. And so we cannot just put one label on an entire organization. Like, for example, Africa is a continent which is young. India is a country which is young. And India is the largest membership country. Africa is one such continent and one such constitutional area that grows each year.
But I'm looking also at where Lionism started, and that's on the North American continent, and there we have serious aging. I'm looking at Europe, which is again aging, with the exception of Eastern Europe,
Now,
where
that's
indeed
it.
you
That's
have
it.
a lower
That's it.
engagement.
You yourself are talking of exception, with the exception of aging Europe. And when you talk of United States of America, it's true. When we started here, we've got clubs which I term as legacy clubs. We are very proud of those clubs. Some of them have gone on to serve for 100 years plus. Some of them are 70, 80, 90 years and still serving. And the members in those clubs are definitely engaging, and that's the challenge.
But isn't the term legacy club, isn't that just a polite way of saying old? And if we're thinking about the youth is not that much about politeness.
No. It's not the case. There are some clubs where they are not being able to find and induct new members. There are other clubs which are celebrating 100 years, and the clubs are strong. The clubs are growing. The clubs are adding members. But that's not applicable to all the clubs. And in North America and in other parts of the world.
Would you say it's the majority of clubs that are the way you describe them, or is it the majority that are old?
Let me complete. And in North America and in other parts of the world where, aging membership is a challenge, it's there. There is even greater need to be able to project to the community that we are a youth-friendly organization, that we respect the new ways of working. We allow them the flexibility to work and have clubs function in their own ways as they would like it to, and they could engage with the activities that the youth prefer so that the more younger people join the organization. And that's the messaging that's going out strong.
Okay, let's test it. A 28-year-old individual who you would like to join Lions. Why would that person join Lions instead of, I don't know, another volunteer network or a social impact
At what
group?
age did you join Lions?
At 40.
I joined at 24.
Okay.
So I joined
They're
Lions.
different times then.
So
now they have WhatsApp groups and they have Instagram groups and they can volunteer anywhere.
Absolutely. We have so many Lions joining in hundreds and in thousands who are in their 20s and who are in their 30s. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Do not put one label on the entire association. There are parts of the world where we are having people join in their late, mid-20s, in their 30s, a whole lot of them, early 40s, a very big number of them. They are joining because they have the flexibility to run their clubs as they would like to, engage in service projects that appeal to them, run their club meetings and have their meetings and other socials as they would like to. And this is something that would have to be accepted around the world. And cyber clubs is also becoming a part and parcel of the Lions culture. There are going to be clubs. There are already clubs.
In few areas. It's still, we're talking about, a crisis that we are in now, because that's why we started Mission 1.5. And yet we're talking about only starting to make these changes.
Niels, do you know from which district, from which part of the world do we have the youngest district governors?
I would assume it would be India. I know in Italy we have very young district governors. I would think in Africa we would have young district governors.
The youngest district governors come from United States of America. That's a fact. And sometimes when we don't look at statistics and we make comments, we are usually going by perception. And I don't blame you. Even I held that perception. Now, that does not mean that the young membership problem in America has been resolved. No, the problem's not been resolved. But I did chronicle and we did list out the 45 youngest governors of the world when we started this year. And the top slots belonged to districts in North America. Constitutional Area 1. That's where they really belonged. And you will be surprised. In that entire list, out of 45, there were only 3 from India and South Asia. So it's not that they are not having young members. They're having young members, but the youngest district governors were this year. And I don't say it's per chance. It only shows that young membership's also there, young leadership's also there. But the percentage of young members is definitely low, and we are working towards that.
And wouldn't you need, therefore, a more aggressive stance for it? Wouldn't you look for something to attract rather more young
Yes.
than
If you have a brilliant idea, please offer.
I'm not the president of the association.
The president
I'm
of
just a mere director.
The president of the association is not expected and should never be expected to have the most brilliant idea. The president of the association should be expected to accept the most important questions, to put them on the table, and to find the answers with the support of Lions leadership around the world. Never expect that the best ideas for tomorrow may necessarily come from the board. It may come from anybody. It may come from the youngest lion, the newest lion, anybody in any part of the world. So we have so many initiatives, and we are welcome to any other ideas or thoughts people may have.
We have on the board, we have 2 Leo line liaisons.
Of course.
Many districts are starting slowly to talk to Leos, but they're still not leading at this point. So aren't you looking for a solution to the aging problem of the association by talking to the same old clubs, by the same old membership?
No, that's a challenging issue. But the point is that as we get younger leadership and as we get leadership in the association that understands, that appreciates that we need to get younger people, the methodology, the pathway, the approach changes. And that is precisely what is happening. We do need to improve upon the rate of conversion of Leos into Lions. But that's not the only way that we'll get young people. It's beyond, because we have certain number of Leos only. That's good. We want more Leos. But even otherwise being able to invite younger people who are not even Leos, I mean, it's got to be a comprehensive approach.
You're still competing with other nonprofits. I said you're competing with the ability of the young people to volunteer anytime, anywhere, networking. I mean, when we go and talk to networks about networks with young people, they're saying, have you seen what I've got on Insta? I've got 200,000 on Instagram. We're competing with a completely different paradigm, but we're still using our
We are not competing
paradigm.
with them. We are giving them the space to run their clubs the way they want. We are talking of building networks. Lions Networks is an initiative which has been promoted this year and which is now an association-wide initiative. It will continue to be developed. We are talking about service tourism. It is these people who travel so much, and while they travel, they can have a taste of service in different parts of the world, meet people in different parts of the world. We are promoting cyber clubs. We've come a long way from where 75% of the club membership was required to be from a specific geographical area. Now it's only 25% at the start of the club. Later on, the percentage could even come down lower. People could be scattered around the world. So long as they are happy and they connect on the net, it works fine with them. So things are changing.
But we're still talking about the change of culture. How many clubs do you think are changing their culture or just changing their recruitment brochure?
Their clubs are changing. You see, if you look at the number of Leos, Leo Lions, Leo Lion clubs around the world, they are increasing, they are improving. I have an assurance given by the Lions of Europe that this year they would charter at least 25 Leo Lion clubs. We haven't still got them.
But that's still a transformation of Leo to Lion. I'm talking about appealing to people that are now in their 20s and 30s and that have not yet been members of
Absolutely.
Leo.
No,
Just
that's
fresh, straight into Lions.
Yes, we are going out to them. We are approaching them, and the numbers there are 2 specific verticals. The vertical for women membership, the vertical for the young membership. On both these verticals, the percentage points in terms of membership is improving. We would like it to jump. We would like it to come very high very soon. Now that doesn't happen, but it is improving. It's going up each year.
But this is still, we're talking about recruitment brochure talk. We're not talking about cultural change. We're talking about how do we actually change the culture, the paradigm of the organization for it to be attractive on one hand to the youth and also to accept the youth.
I mean, if you look at our service programs, if you look at the funding that's being provided by the foundation, the encouragement that's being provided to the youth also being permitted to hold, their own FDIs, and the the way that they want to run the clubs being totally left to them, so long it's within the framework of the association. They could run the clubs, promoting youth exchange camps, promoting youth camps and promoting youth exchange programs. All of this is providing the youth so much opportunity and opening up the world to them. This is what we are trying to reach out to them.
You're talking about FDI. That's already leadership, actual leadership. But I need to ask, if we're talking about leadership development for the young people, are we not still seeing that leadership development, especially the institutes, are more a buddy-buddy system rather than saying, okay, these are the young people, this is the future, I should actually send them onto leadership courses?
Now, that's a responsibility of the leadership in each part of the world. You see, at the Lions international level, that we can't police anything.
No, we can.
First of all,
it's a change of culture, not policing.
Yes, it's happening in many parts of the world. In some parts of the world where it's not happening, we got to encourage it to make it happen fast. They would see the success levels in those parts of the world where it's happening, and they would catch up with it. The rate of metamorphosis is not identical across the world. There are some parts of the world where the rate of that metamorphosis, the rate of change is higher. The others will look at it, get inspired, learn some best practices, adopt it.
How do you spread them? How does, somebody in Northern Europe with clubs starting at 70 even get a whiff of how to change their culture? Not that they want to, by the way.
Of course, when they go to the forums, when they read the literature, when they get information on the social media and they see the engagement of the younger people, they are aware of the younger individuals forming clubs, joining clubs. It's then that the leadership of those areas needs to contact the leadership of those other areas where the young people are joining, where the young people's clubs are being formed. If they do not have these conversations, then the rate will continue to be slow.
If we want young people, we need to go where the young people are. You have been talking a lot about business networking, and there is a very successful project in India that is working on that.
It's in many parts.
And which is basically bringing the working people, the people that are in business, together. But what about going into the universities? What about having some kind of a connection with universities, with schools? We're talking about higher education. That's where the youth is.
Absolutely. We should be doing it, and Lions have to do it in their own parts of the world. In some parts of the world, we are building relationships with the centers of excellence. Like in India, we are working to build a relationship with the Indian Institute of Management, where they would offer courses to Lions, including separate courses for the younger Lions. And it's the Lions leadership that has to respond. Lions leadership across the world, this is a volunteer-based service club organization. We are all committed to common principles. We are all committed to the cause of serving. We have an overall framework, but the local leadership has to accept responsibility.
You keep saying Lions leadership. That sounds very hierarchical. And when we're talking about young people, they only like flat things. They like simple things.
When I say Lions leadership, it includes every influential Lion who can make the change happen. You need some triggers. You need individuals to make the change happen. In every part of the world, in every district, there are some individuals who take that initiative, who are ready to work with the newer models, who are ready to take risks, who are ready to move forward. It's those individuals that will play an important part.
Still, if you look, and I had the chance to travel maybe now on the board more than before, but I keep seeing that a lot of the leadership is very ceremonial. Again, something that makes the youth shy away because they're not looking for ceremony.
I'll ask you a question. You are from Romania. You spent some time in Italy.
Yeah.
That's where you are geographically located.
Yes.
Now, as an international director, what are you doing to promote young Lions membership and young Lions clubs in Romania or that part of Italy where you're living?
Very simple. I'm not trying to do it.
That's what you need to do.
I'm giving it to the young people to do it. I cannot convince a young person of anything. It needs to be a 25 or a 30-year-old person that convinces a 25 or a 30.
Perfect. You need young people to talk to the young people. You need
women
to talk.
They need to be in leadership, but they're not in leadership.
You need women to talk to women. You need to empower them. You can have groups formed. You see, before we dismantle the entire framework of the association, it doesn't happen that way. You can form special groups and empower them, that you are the head of this group, of the youth development group, and you guys are in charge. We give you the resources.
You're in charge until the governor comes and says, hello, I'm the governor here. You're not going to go past my word.
You got to get the governors on board as well.
Well, that's the part, because that's what I'm saying. That's where the old group, the old gang, the old leadership.
There's no gang. I don't like that word. I don't agree with that word at all. What I'm saying is there are people who've seen the way the organization's been run for so many decades. There's a change which is required, and we are making it very clear that this change is required. But then the influential leaders have to do what's required to be done in their respective areas. If you are not going to be effective in Romania, or in part of Italy,
Romania, we've got 1,100 Leos for 1,700 lions.
What's the rate of conversion? What's the rate of conversion to lions?
We're now getting to that point.
So you do that part in Romania. Somebody else will do that part in each part of the world. We've got to accept responsibility. I'm happy that you are accepting responsibility. You say we are now working on that rate of conversion. Now, rate of conversion, what does it mean? You'll be speaking to them. You'll be inviting them. You'll be showing them how the Lions clubs work. You'll be explaining to them that you could form clubs. The clubs would run the way you want them to run. That's a lot of conversation that would be required, and you will do that. And that's the role of leadership. This is exactly what we are encouraging Lions to do.
Aren't you concerned that by the time we get to the point where the youth will trust us, that we allow them to lead themselves, they will be already bored and gone?
No. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that we're bored and gone. This is a process of regular
bored
development.
of waiting, I mean.
Yeah, I understand exactly. This is a process of change. The sooner we do it, the better it is. But the fact is, I love that energy in you. I love that desire in you to see that change happen overnight. And I myself sometimes get impatient, and we want that change to happen very soon. But it's across the world. And there are people who are volunteers. Even the leaders are volunteers. They have a certain limitation on the time and the energy and the resources that they can bring in. This is high up on the agenda. And everybody realizes this is high up on the agenda, but it's just developing, and it's developing. We can see the trajectory going up. We can see the percentage points improving.
In certain areas.
Across the world, in certain areas more than in other parts of the world.
This is the part where I eat 2 hamburgers, but statistically we ate each one.
You can say and interpret it what it is, but the very fact that you give me an example that now you're working towards that end in Romania, and you were not working towards that end in Romania.
And in Italy.
And let me complete. And you were not working towards that end 5 years ago. The very fact that you're working towards it today shows the change in culture that you are bringing in.
Service is our name of the game. That's what we're here for. We serve. But aren't the traditional projects sometimes too slow, too formal for the young people?
Please understand, this is an organization for everybody. So while we incorporate and we encourage the youngsters to develop the projects and their meetings as they would like to do it, this doesn't mean that we will have to dismantle the projects which the seniors are doing according to the way they've been doing it. All that we are saying is, if you want to engage with certain projects that you believe are most effective, that you like them, you love them, you have a preference for, go ahead and do it, and you have the flexibility to do it to the younger people. Similarly, there are individuals who are 30, 40, 50 years in the association, and they want to continue doing things their way. Well, they could. It is in their interest to also change, in which case they would be able to involve.
In their interest? Wait a second. Why is it in their interest?
Because they love their clubs. You see, you look at these Lions. I've been to those Lions. If they've been members for 30, 40 years, clubs in 45, 50, 60 years old, you just have to, difficult to imagine how much attached they are to their own club. They love the club. They love the history of their club. And all that I ask them to help them understand is, but what will happen? Who will keep the story going in your club maybe 15, 20, 25 years later?
And that's the part that's where difficult they say, to sell.
And that's the point where the sale is made. That's the point we tell them, you love it. You are so proud of it. You want to be a lion to the last day of your life like most of us do. But don't you believe that it's also important that the story of service and the story of your Lions Club continues into the future? And it's at that point they accept and they think back, yes, we got to do something. Now, not that everybody does everything just after that meeting, but that's the starting point. That's like planting a seed. We need to keep doing it, and we'll get the results.
There is always a generational gap, and there's always been a generational gap. Only that this generational gap between Gen Z and anything before is extremely abyssal. It's very deep.
That's because the pace of change is so big.
Exactly.
It's the pace of change is
so
very
then
strong.
I'm asking, shouldn't we maybe look, I don't know, the young people are looking at micro-volunteering, at weekend projects,
Perfect.
at service campaigns.
Perfect.
But this is not what the older clubs like. They
We
like
don't
the
have to create a
traditional
conflict.
projects. Shouldn't they be somehow separated, or I don't know?
Yes, they could be. You see, the point is the need for service is so big that there is no competition that you got to do only this and this way. If there are younger people who want to do it a different way, a different approach to the service projects, they have the full flexibility to do it.
But again, not if they are in the same club with somebody who is 60 or 70, because they're not going to be able to move
They will
past
choose.
them.
They have to choose. Both sides have to choose. The senior members have to choose that if they want younger members, they will have to give them some space. They will have to allow them to do things their way.
And here we come back to the cultural change.
And that comes back to the cultural change. And if they're not ready to do it, these individuals then better be encouraged to have their own clubs. We don't want to lose individuals who have a heart to serve.
And then
so
you
the
come
point
to
is,
the older governor who is not going to allow the younger club to actually sprout.
no, that doesn't happen. The governors, I believe, in most of the cases, in a substantial majority of the cases, understand that this is a challenge. We cannot force a club. A club that's serving, a club that's on, a club that's working for so many years, that you must change your culture. We can appeal to them. We can show them the value in change. We can show them how beneficial it is to change for the communities, for their club, and for the association.
Okay.
If still it takes time, well, it takes time. There's got to be a different
That
pathway.
thing with it takes time scares me, because my concern is that it'll take the time until it ain't going to be anymore. And that's because
do understand.
young people are looking
I
for
do
quick impact and visible
I do
outcomes
understand.
now.
That's the reason I often encourage that if that's not happening, give the youngsters a different platform, give them new clubs, give them new club branches. Even within the same club, you could have a club branch where they could meet and do things their way. So give them their own space.
But this is difficult again when it comes to selling. It's difficult to sell to those clubs which are still behaving like in the time when we're still using the fax machine.
We are talking the same thing in the sense that I know that this is first of all volunteerism. This is individuals choosing, making their own choice to be members of the club, to be members of Lions International. And if some members wish to continue, or there are clubs that wish to continue doing things the way they did maybe even 30 years ago, that's not the best thing for their club, for their district, for their association, but we cannot force them.
A group of students in London asked me the following question. They said like this: you want me young person, student, you want me to serve under your label, strengthening your brand of Lions, therefore making you grow, and you want me to pay you for that?
No.
How do you answer that?
I mean, you got to show them that this is not making my brand or making my organization grow. It's going to be your organization. And on a corporate level, somebody may be a member for 60 years, but still has that just one vote. And that new member also has that one vote. We are encouraging
they
clubs.
don't actually, because they're paying 50%
Yes.
dues and they are not even counted for the
No,
vote.
that's not the issue. Even if they pay the full amount, what I'm trying to say is we are encouraging the district governors to give them a hearing. We are encouraging the district governors and leadership at every level to give them space at leadership positions. I was personally challenged by the Lions of Europe in an open platform at the forum last year, when I was said, "You are encouraging us to get more women and young people in our cabinets. Would you appoint a majority of women and young people when you are an international president on the international board?" I was really put on the hot seat at that point of time. And
but
some
you're
people
not appointing the directors. The directors
not
are
the
chosen
directors,
by
but the appointees.
yes.
And I promised them we'll have 50% of the appointees between women and young people, and we did it. So the point is, we are doing it. We are encouraging the governors as well to give more opportunities to the younger people, to listen to them, because I believe that young people are very important. There's also the concept of reverse mentoring. Today, if the organization has to become more digitally friendly, there has to be greater digital fluency in our organization. It is these younger people who will become the mentors and hold the hands of the senior line.
But changing from the status quo is always difficult, and that change has a lot of resistance, and that usually doesn't. Let's go to LCI for a second.
Now you've summed up exactly what I was trying to tell you, but for some reason you were not accepting it. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Change is there.
I did sum it up because I understand what you're saying. At the same time, looking at the way things are moving, my concern is that it is so slow that by the time it actually gets to that point, we're not going to be there anymore.
I do understand, and I do agree with you that we would like it to be much faster.
Let's talk about that. And that's what we need to find the solutions to. Let's talk about LCI for a second. It's basically the central organization from where the Lions can draw the money in order to put their projects into practice. It is the one that is basically using 100% of the funds for the Lions projects, which is great, and it's unique compared to the other organizations that are gathering money, the fact that they have no administrative costs and so on. But aren't we missing out on the corporate social responsibility funds? Because what we're doing now is we are pushing our membership to put their hands into their pockets and participate to LCIF, but our move towards CSR funds compared to other organizations is extremely slow.
We definitely need to develop the vertical for CSR, and we're already doing it. We have a CSR vertical already set up in India. We have a separate committee that's working with targets. A vertical of that nature has been set up in the United States of America and CA1 as well. Plus, the issue is that there are, in any case, a lot of funds flowing from the corporate sector to our projects, only that they don't flow in through the LCIF. They go from the corporate sector directly to the clubs and the clubs' foundations and the clubs' projects. So the money is, in any case, coming into Lions programs and Lions projects. It's not been counting locally,
but not on the LCIF. The LCIF has projects and programs that are impacting the whole globe. So we're talking about financing that side.
You get funds into the LCIF globally, and the corporate, say in Europe, say in Italy, a corporate entity in France gives you a funding and tells you that we would like you to invest these funds in France or in Italy. The funds are going to be invested just there, because when it's a corporate given donation, the corporates may be able to would expect the ability or the flexibility to tell you that this is where we would like the funds to be invested.
Agreed, but why do other corporations, why are they able to convince them? I mean, why should a major company, a mid-sized or a large company, choose LCIF over any other voluntary organization?
Because of the implementation capability. If there are companies that really want the implementation partners globally and reliable implementation partners that have a reputation, that have a established organization, and on whose accountability and reports that they could rely upon, well, LCIF fits the bill 100%. That's why they would rely more on LCIF.
Isn't though one of the complaints of the corporates the lack of measurable results, visible branding, long-term return, reputational trust? Aren't these metrics that we are lacking in LCIF?
No. I have not heard of any corporate having any complaints on it. However, I believe there should be more studies to understand the impact that has been made. More impact-related studies may need to be done so that we have better empirical results to prove that LCIF is the best destination for corporate funds. But we've never heard of a complaint by a corporate. That's not true.
We haven't heard of the complaint. Okay. Do you think, though, that historically we have been maybe then too modest into knowing how to access these corporate funds? And again, I'm talking LCIF, not local.
See, what is LCIF? LCIF is the global foundation of the Lions of the world. The Lions locally have been sourcing funds from the corporate sector. Now, there is something called that we need to demonstrate our overall impact. So if we can have the funds coming into one foundation and then flow out of that, we would be able to demonstrate how big the impact is. Although the projects are already getting that money, we would like it to come through the foundation.
I tend to disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because the ones that are able to get the funds, they're not going to ask for LCIF funds. The ones that are asking for LCIF funds are the ones that cannot source it locally. And I'll give you the best example today is Ukraine. Right. Ukraine can't source its own money for their own problems inside the country. So we need LCIF. But that means sourcing funds from the United States, from India, from Germany, from France, from Argentina, and so on and so forth.
And that's where the CSR verticals are being developed. There are CSR experts also being, involved in raising these funds, working very closely with the Lions leadership or the Lions who are working in those particular areas. And I do understand that the CSR initiative needs to be spread more. It needs to go to all constitutional areas, all parts of the world. But it's already work in progress.
You are going to be the chair of the foundation as of the 1st of July. Would you change the fundraising culture so that LCIF is no longer seen as a charitable extra, but rather as a global platform of co-investment?
First of all, no individual can do any cultural change in just 1 year. Secondly, each year we do make the changes and the adjustments. Third, if the pace of change required is high, we need to be able to respond to that. And I think we are doing it. And always, when we talk of the needs of change, some of us, and very rightly so, for good reasons, get exasperated that we need change to be at a faster pace. That shows the leadership really loves the organization. I love your spirit, but it's done. It's done each year and will continue to be done.
I left the hardest questions for the end.
Sure.
What is the one thing that Lions needs to change, but people are too polite to talk about?
Lions need to change?
Yes. But we're too polite to talk about it aloud.
I think we need to have some methodology for the younger people to get more involved in decision-making, or at least, a pathway for sending up their proposals for consideration. It's very easy to say that you can always send in your ideas. I think it may be better if we can devise some other pathway, a very identified pathway through which the young people could provide us with the ideas at every level in the organization to consider, and that we could consider them from all aspects and take appropriate decisions.
But is the older generation truly prepared and ready to give younger people the platform to lead this organization into the 21st century and take it out of the 20th century that it's now in?
So which generation am I in?
I'm sorry to say that. My generation, which is the old generation.
So I'm ready and you are ready. So who else has to be ready? People like us are getting ready. If there are some of our friends who are not fully ready, we are talking to them.
Is it
you are talking to them.
Majority?
You are talking to them. I'm talking to them. We are talking to them. You see, we may find a couple of people of our generation not being so responsive as they should be. That doesn't mean that you are not responsive or I'm not responsive.
But I'm afraid that we're looking at the exceptions.
No.
And not
we are not the
majority.
exceptions. We are not the exceptions. No. That's a point of difference. I don't think we are the exceptions. We have a few exceptions who are not joining us, who are not joining us as wholeheartedly and with as much energy as we would like. And we are trying to get everybody on. So that's the whole issue.
Aren't they rather afraid of a fast change that would
always people
would change the relevance?
People are always afraid of a fast change. You buy a new, you use a new app. You're afraid of a new change. The same app that you are using, if it changes its orientation, the way it's organized, we don't like the way it's organized. We spend 5 days, and those 5 days we say the previous one was better. Although we are very sure that the new look one is going to have better facilities and is going to give us better service. But still we prefer the same one could have continued. I mean, that's human nature.
Give me
That's
one
okay.
sentence, just one short sentence, in which you're telling me why a young person should join Lions.
Because Lions International is the best destination for somebody who wants to become a part of the global service community.
Is Lions hoping that the new generation will fit into our organization, or will the organization fit into the new generation?
The second part will have to happen before the first part happens. We have to fit into the new generation.
Will it be in our lifetime?
It will be. You and me will make it happen.
I'm old.
If you and
I'm preparing to push up daisies.
No. We have to keep working. This is unending work. This is work in progress, because we take care of this generation and there'll be the next generation. You see, this goes on, this process. Just try to think the way Lions Clubs and Lions International worked 25 years ago. You were a member 25 years ago.
Yes.
Is there any parity between the way it worked 25 years ago and it works today?
There are still, yes.
But there's a huge change.
Not that huge, unfortunately. Not. I don't feel that huge change. If you ask me, I feel that the changes haven't happened yet. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. I am looking forward to this organization indeed being there 100 years from now as well.
Don't look forward to it. Make it happen. Be a part of it. You are an international director. People like you and many others, whether they wear the badge or not, if they are passionate Lions, good Lions, great Lions, everybody's got to contribute. The issue is sometimes all of us look forward to it. We need to participate in the progress and make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.